The resolution for this debate is TV is a bad influence. I'll define TV for this debate. Television means the broadcasting of various shows, movies, events through an electronic system, transmission, images of fixed or moving objects together with sound over a wire or through space by apparatus that converts light, sound into electrical waves and reconverts them into visible light rays and audible sound. This also means we're discussing cable TV, but also Netflix, movies, Amazon, anything in that area. My team and I believe that TV is a bad influence. I think most people can agree that this is true, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we'll stop watching it, even though we probably should. Television affects all age groups, but it's specifically bad for ages 1 through 23 because that's the ages where the brain is still developing. One of the biggest issues caused by TV nowadays is childhood obesity, or really obesity in general. Kids who watch too much TV are usually overweight, according to the American Medical Association. Kids often snack on junk food while watching TV. They are also influenced by commercials that consume unhealthy food. In addition, numerous TV ads encourage unhealthy consumption habits. 2/3 of the 20,000 television ads that a normal kid sees every year are for food that are usually for fast food or high sugar foods. After-school television targets young children mostly. This evidence shows that kids who watch more TV are more likely to be overweight. Also, they are not running, jumping, doing activities that burn calories and increase metabolism. Obese kids are usually, unless they change their habits, tend to be obese when they become adults. TV watching also affects a child's health and athletic ability. The more television a child watches, even in the first years of life, are more likely to be obese and less muscularly fit, according to this study done by the University of Montreal. TV also can affect a child's development. Pediatricians are firmly against programming modified specifically for young children, particularly when it's utilized to market toys, games, dolls, unhealthy foods, or other items to babies. This will cause television to replace reading. Reading requires more thinking than TV. We realize that pursuing books helps for a creative mind and a healthy brain improvement. Kids from families that have TV on a lot invest less time in reading. And being read to are, yes.
Where is your evidence for that?
This is actually done by the American Pediatric Association. And kids from families that, yeah. So the first 2 years of life are considered critical time for brain development. TV and other electronic media can be done in a way of exploring, playing, and interacting with other children. Research indicates that students may be less able to engage formal descriptions of events or objects with their peers in the past. This can also affect their speech and language. They're more likely to be antisocial because they're not socializing with other children. This was according to an expert doctor named Dr. Sally Ward. Once a child begins to get older, they're so consumed by TV that they'll begin to focus less on homework and physical activity. This can also ruin their development. There were also studies done where ADD and ADHD were connected to watching too much television. The American Academy of Pediatrics did a research at a children's hospital in Seattle and found that more television a child watches between the ages 1 and 3, the greater his likelihood to be developing ADD by the age of 7. More specifically, each extra hour per day of TV time, the risk of concentration difficulties increased by 10% compared to that of a child who views no TV at all. Excessive viewing was associated with 28% increase of attention problems. So basically, watching too much TV can either cause ADD or make it worse. Studies were also done on the fact that kids who watch too much TV are less likely to pay attention in school. But this doesn't only affect children, this also affects adults. The adults that spend so much time flipping through channels and spend time multitasking their various electronics devices, they're to be less successful in the work field because they're juggling too many things at once. Television is also a bad influence because TV's full programs and commercials show risky behaviors that can affect a person's actions. Liquor ads on TV have really expanded through most recent years, and more underage children are presented with the idea that this is okay. A recent study by the Center of Alcohol Marketing and Youth found that adolescent presentation to liquor ads on TV expanded by 30% from 2001 to 2006. And also, with the risky behaviors, it does involve violence. Kids think it's more violent, but that can be mostly a parenting decision. But I myself did my own personal observation from just kids I know who watch certain dramatic, secular, popular TV shows that are very questionable. For example, Glee, Pretty Little Liars, Teen Wolf, Supernatural, One Tree Hill, Switch at Birth. You go on from there. And I see from the time the show started to where it's at now, these kids started to pick up these behaviors. And these kids mimic what the TV teaches them. And the kids are more use foul language, more violent, disrespectful, drink, are sexually active, they have major attitude problems, and I think it's just...
Time.
That was it.
All right. Prep time. No, we have second affirmative, first affirmative B. Which I am. Oh, do your speaker evaluation, Madison, please. Madison, good job. Nice work. You didn't know you could speak for 6 minutes, did you?
No, I really thought I wasn't going to have enough.
You did a good job. Unfortunately, I'm out of room. I need another one. Do we have another one of these? Yeah. And make sure there's one left to copy.
Yeah, there's 2 more.
Okay, thanks. Is anybody else out of room on your flow? Okay. You can start when you need to, when you want to, Leah.
There are many reasons why television is a bad influence. One of the biggest reasons is the fact that it has a negative impact on every one of its viewers, no matter what age. The age groups most affected by the bad examples set on TV are teenagers and young children. According to a recent study, the average American watches 4 to 5 hours of TV every day. This is time wasted when the viewers could be doing a large number of more productive and beneficial things. One of the worst things on television today is the amount of violence. As reported by the American Academy of Pediatrics, by the time a person reaches his or her teenage years, he or she has already seen nearly 8,000 murders on television. Sadly, this can and often does lead to real-life acts of cruelty. The AAP has also stated that the constant bombardment of violence may desensitize the teen to these acts or make them seem intriguing. Violence on TV doesn't only affect teenagers, though. There are also children watching shows that promote this type of actions. Children mimic actions that they see. It affects their behavior. For example, about a year ago, my brother enjoyed watching the show Power Rangers. He was about 4 at the time, and we didn't see anything wrong with him watching it. We started noticing after a while, though, that it caused him to punch and kick us. He saw superheroes attacking the bad guys, so his natural response was to do the same to anyone he saw. The influence of the show made him more aggressive, even though he didn't understand that it was wrong. Not only does TV violence affect the average kid, but there are also some children who are emotionally challenged, and seeing this type of behavior can cause them and their families to be greatly distressed. Another problem with the impact TV has on teens is that it leads them to do things they know are wrong. In fact, 15 new studies link media exposure to behavior and lifestyle issues. Issues like these include drinking, smoking, and doing drugs. TV shows glorify this behavior, making it harder for teenagers to say no. It models popular, beautiful people participating in things like these, and depicts this lifestyle as desirable for those watching. They pay no attention, however, to warnings and don't consider the consequences they will have to face later. In a study by Fox News, it was stated that teens whose parents disapproved of them doing things such as these, after watching 2 or more hours of TV a day, are 70% more likely to take part in these harmful actions. In addition to the influence of drugs and alcohol, adolescents are faced with an abundance of bad language. In just the past 5 years, the amount of swear words on television has increased by 70%. As stated by the David O. McKay School of Education, swearing is a phase many teens go through as they begin to assert their independence. Their choice to use bad words is a stepping stone into what could become something much worse. Their behavior only goes downhill from there. Teenagers know that cursing is wrong, but choose to do it anyway. For children, however, it's much more of an issue. They may hear a bad word, say it again, and not realize that it's wrong. Just as kids mimic actions, they also repeat and learn from what they hear. Television also affects how teens view their bodies. Nearly every scripted show out there portrays society's idea of perfect people. They make it seem as though all girls should be either super skinny and all guys should be overly muscular. TV media has been used to ruin adolescents, especially girls' self-perception. Even though these standards aren't obtainable or realistic, the teen watching may feel inferior to the image of perfection they see on their screen. They want to be skinny because they have been tricked into thinking that the ideal girl on TV is much happier. But the truth is, a girl like this is often depressed because she doesn't realize that this lifestyle is fake. She feels the need to change herself because she can't be good enough. This change they desire can often be very dangerous. The teenager's depression may lead to self-harm or eating disorders, all because they thought they needed to look like a character on TV to be loved. Among the many other things wrong with TV, it causes young viewers to have bad attitudes. For teens, they see other people their age disrespecting and talking back to their parents, so they repeat what they've seen. They do this either thinking that it's normal and perfectly fine, or they do so subconsciously. For children, they mimic the bad attitudes they see on their favorite cartoons. For example, when I was younger, there were many shows I had to stop watching because I picked up on the poor behavior the characters had. This issue can be traced back to the role models and main characters of any given TV show. Television is not the same as it used to be. My parents had great role models and examples being set for them, like on The Waltons, Andy Griffith, and My Three Sons. The list is extensive. Children today only have either shows like The Simpsons as role models or self-centered characters in Nickelodeon and Disney shows. In conclusion, there are many bad examples set by TV. Studies continue to show that the negative impact it has on children and teens. The bad definitely outweighs any good in this situation, and this is why we ask that you vote for the affirmative side today. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to give a word of explanation to the audience. The teams are given a resolution which we decided on as a class. They have to prepare both sides of the resolution. They don't know till they get here which side they have. So that's just a little information for you all so that you know that they're not just standing up and reading something. They are reading prepared speeches at this point, but they are reading speeches from one side or the other. They didn't know which one they were going to have. Okay, so that was the affirmative, first speakers of the affirmative. Okay, do your speaker evaluations, please, for Leah. Leah, excellent job. You have 3 minutes. You have 3 minutes prep for the next group. I don't know why. Okay. Opposition, you can start when you're ready. You have 30 seconds left. Or if you need to take time getting up there. Rachel. Pretty dress. Love your shoes too. This
It's really glamorous.
season. Yes, total. Do your toes show?
A little bit.
At least they're painted.
Yeah, I was gonna say, get 'em cute. Do you need to sit?
I think I'll be okay.
Okay. Don't worry, just let it go. Unless it's gonna bother you. I have an assistant who can pick that up.
Something's okay.
Yes, she absolutely hit something. Okay. Do you want it moved? Okay, go see if it's in the way. All right, if you need a chair,
I think I'm okay.
all right,
Thank you.
all right. I can be sweet. This is my mercy level. It happens once a year. For you, this is it. Okay, wait. Ready, go.
Okay. Television is clearly not all good, but it's not all bad either, especially in moderation. It doesn't make sense to get rid of television completely just because of a few bad things. My team and I believe that TV is a good influence overall, despite any negatives, for a number of reasons. I'm going to discuss these reasons as well as define another term. I want to define bad. Bad is defined as immoral, evil, vulgar, or obscene. I think we can agree that not all programs on television qualify as evil, immoral, vulgar, and obscene. Television is a fast and easy way to get information about things. There are numerous news channels where you can learn about current events and problems taking place in the world. You can get weather and traffic reports as well as emergency alerts from the National Alert System. In addition, there are the History Channel, Discovery Channel, National Geographic, Ovation, which is a channel dedicated completely to the arts, like ballet and symphonies, PBS, Animal Planet, TLC, which is the Learning Channel, and many televangelist programs, just to name a few. In addition, there are countless cooking, gardening, and do-it-yourself shows that can be very helpful for visual learners. You can experience things that you might not be able to experience firsthand for whatever reason. For instance, you may be curious about travel in different places in the world, but might not be able to visit them because of money, health, time, or other reasons. Or maybe you're preparing for a trip and would like to know more about what to expect. What better way to capture that than on a TV documentary? I personally have a DVD from PBS called Visions of Ireland that provides an in-depth look at the culture, geography, wildlife, and history of Ireland. It captures so much of the beauty and nature of the country that even if you were to go there for a visit, you might miss because of weather or seasons or not having enough time. Yes?
What about books? You can get the same experience with books, and they have pictures, and it's actually more educational and better for the brain development.
But in a DVD, you can see it's videoed from a helicopter, and you get to see animals, and it's yes,
You can get those from pictures.
that's true, but you can also get them from DVDs. The few things that can make TV harmful can be solved or avoided fairly easily. Things like the bad shows that you were talking about, and the things that qualify them as bad, like violence and foul language, and health problems that come from sitting too long or snacking too much on the wrong things. or wasting too much valuable time all have solutions. For the instance of bad shows, the FCC requires all television sets with picture screens 13 inches or larger to be equipped with features to block the display of television programming based on its rating. Yes?
A majority of parents don't even know that their TVs have these systems in place. So
This technology is called the V-chip, and the V-chip reads information encoded in the rated program and blocks programs based on the set selected by the parents. But however, it's so easy to be inundated by bad stuff almost anywhere. Eliminating TV will not stop evil people from being violent or coarse, and it won't prevent people or children from being exposed to smoking or alcohol. Whereas the problems with time management and health boils down to self-control and personal responsibility. We have been fearfully and wonderfully made and are able to make our own decisions as well as control our actions. We should set limits for ourselves and for our children about how much time we spend watching TV, what we watch, what and how much we eat while we're watching, and not let something like television victimize us. I believe that moral people that view their bodies as the temple of the Holy Spirit and desire to honor God in all that they do, and are aware of the effects that watching certain things have on their mind and soul, will handle TV responsibly, and the people that do not care about their mind, body, and soul will reflect that with or without the influence of television.
Nice work. Good job. Do your speaker rating for Rachel, please. Good job over here on the POIs. They were all well done, very nicely done. And Rachel, good answering on those. She answered them all. We don't have a second. Are you speaking on this one? Okay. Wait, what are you? You are first opposition speaker. Sure, hang on, give me 1 second. Cassidy. Okay. All right, you can start when you're ready.
As we've already stated, my team and I believe TV is not a bad influence. Here are a few reasons why. TV may have some bad shows and movies, but that does not mean TV overall is a bad influence. While there are some channels with certain shows and movies that can be bad, there are many channels that are not a bad influence and in fact can be a great influence. For example, educational channels showed on TV can make learning fun and interesting. According to listcrown.com, the top 4 educational channels on TV are the National Geographic Channel, the Discovery Channel, the History Channel, and Animal Planet. The National Geographic Channel broadcasts shows and documentaries with factual content including nature, science, culture, and history. Listcrown.com says that this channel has remained an all-time favorite among kids and adults and proves to be the #1 educational channel. The channel has been given many awards, including the award for most outstanding use of innovation in programming. The Discovery Channel broadcasts documentaries and programs focused primarily on science, technology, and history. The channel has shows like Mythbusters that are very effective in getting children, students, including myself, and adults interested in science. The History Channel obviously broadcasts programs about history and can be very educational for its viewers. All I'm going to say about this channel is that it broadcasts a show called The Bible. How can that possibly be a bad influence to watch? In fact, it could possibly get someone that's not a Christian interested in reading the Bible, and who knows the amazing influence it can have on them. These are just a few examples of educational channels that can have a great influence on its viewers. These channels can get people, including students, interested in subjects like history and science, even though they may not have been interested in them before. Now, one thing I do want to mention is that while yes, people could learn information from books that they can from TV, for people who don't like to read, like me, they are more likely to watch an educational channel than sit down and read a book on the same topic. Yeah? Why not just read the Bible like you were supposed to? I was saying that the Bible can encourage people to read the Bible for those who aren't Christians. They're not going to watch it. Yes,
That's actually not what you said.
that's what I was meaning by it, though. Most people that are learning from TV rather than books may have learned stuff that they never would have cared to learn from books. In fact, I believe for kids and students who don't like to read, they should be encouraged to watch educational channels because it is a fun and easy way to get interested in history, science, and many other educational things. According to RaceSmartKids.com, preschoolers and kindergartners who watch educational programs tend to have higher grades and value their studies more when they reach high school. This shows that TV is not a bad influence because it has educational channels that can get students more interested in school and will in the end help students that don't normally like school get higher grades. Another thing I want to mention is that while I've made it clear that watching educational channels is good for students, that doesn't mean that that's the only kind of TV they should watch. In fact, scientists from the University of Siena found that children can experience a soothing and pain-killing effect while watching cartoons. So perhaps that means a little entertainment TV can be good for kids and act as a source of relief for kids and students who are stressed or in pain. Not only does TV offer educational channels, but there are also channels that can encourage and inspire people. For example, watching sports channels and seeing successful college and professional sports players can inspire athletes to want to work hard and be successful like their favorite athletes. Watching sports on TV can also inspire athletes to try a new sport and encourage someone that's not active to try a sport and become active. Also, watching channels such as the Food Network can encourage people to learn how to cook. The Food Network can give people cool recipe ideas, interesting cooking tips, and even teach people how to cook basic recipes. This is another example of how TV can be a good influence and can encourage and inspire people to work hard at what they do and even try things they've never done before. Another way TV is a good influence is that it can actually encourage and motivate people to read. There are a ton of movies out there that are based off of books and will continue to be movies that are based off books. This gives parents the opportunity to challenge their children to read a book before they can see the movie based off of it. Also, when someone watches a movie that they really enjoy, it might motivate them to read the book. Not only can people be motivated from movies based off books, but also many kids channels encourage children to read. For example, on Disney Channel, they show a commercial by Phineas and Ferb where they are encouraging children to pick up a book and read. As you can see, TV is not all bad. In fact, there seems to be way more good influences than bad. The few things that are bad can be fixed easily. Responsible parents will monitor what their children watch and not allow them to watch anything that is bad for them. If children are influenced in a bad way by anything they see on TV, it is not the fault of the TV, but instead the fault of the irresponsible parents for letting them watch it. As for teenagers and adults, they are old enough to know what is good to watch and what isn't. If an adult or teenager decides to watch something that influences them in a bad way, then once again it is not the fault of the TV. They know what they are watching is something that's not good for them, and they can very easily leave the room, turn off the TV, or change the channel. For these reasons and more, I believe TV is not a bad influence, and if watched properly, it can be a very good influence.
Okay, another word of explanation. One of the tactics in debate is to use what's called heckling. And this is what they're doing when they are pounding the table. That's applause. And usually you do that. You don't go, shame, because that's applauding and saying something bad at the same time. So you wouldn't go, boo. So this is when you hear him saying shame, that's a form of heckling. When you hear them pounding the table, that is an acceptable way of applause in debate. You pound the table 3 to 5 times so that it is controlled, but yet it's acceptable. Also, you will hear them, as they're doing their POIs, POIs are a way of cross-examination without using cross-examination. It's a tactic that's used, can be used as strategy. They've learned how to use it as strategy to either interrupt a good speech, to make a point for their side in the middle of somebody else's side, to just re-emphasize something that's been said before.
This is prep time right now.
This is prep time and I'm talking to them, so go. 3 minutes. And do your, speaker, yes, thank you, for Cassie. Cassidy, I think that's the best one you've done. Okay, really well done. Yes, yes.
That's actually a good question.
You can look up and make a rhetorical question, but they not. You can't. Oh, what's your question? Sure. You can ask, but don't expect an answer, just move to the next, it's rhetorical.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah, just, you're asking a question. Oh, yeah, good one. This is.
You can't shame us before we respect.
Aaron, second proposition.
We can call him the destroyer.
The Destroyer. Aaron, AKA the Destroyer.
All right. So first, I would like to address one of your points. It's actually okay. We're here to debate whether or not TV is a bad influence, not whether or not parents should monitor it. And because you yourselves said that it should be monitored and kids should be persuaded to go away from it, by very definition, that means it is a bad influence. My team, the affirmative side, believes that TV is a bad influence. TV is a bad influence for many reasons, some of which my partners have already touched on. I am here today to talk about the effects TV has on children, their behaviors, and their habits. One of the reasons my partners and I believe that TV is a bad influence is because the effects it has on the habits, behaviors, and activities of children and adults alike. Studies show that 2/3 of infants and toddlers watch a screen on average of 2 hours a day. Kids under 6 watch an average of about 2 hours of screen media a day, primarily TV and videos or DVDs. And kids and teens age 8 to 18 spend nearly 4 hours a day in front of a TV screen and almost 2 additional hours on a computer, not including schoolwork and playing video games. This is a major issue when it comes to the development of a child. Children who watch TV are less likely to go play outside, socialize with other children, read and learn, and are more likely to become overweight, have anger issues, be diagnosed with ADHD, and not follow directions unless they are told they can watch TV. And this is a huge issue. Exercise is crucial in the early stages of life as well as throughout life. Those who watch TV have less time and are less likely to exercise because it is much easier to watch TV. In fact, watching TV is so easy that they see doing anything else as a chore and expect a reward for doing the simplest tasks. Children who watch TV are less likely to go outside. Remember when we were all kids? We always wanted to go outside. I personally remember walking out of my room, seeing the TV on, and instead of flopping on the couch, running outside to play with a ball. Nowadays, children will do anything to avoid going outside and will do anything to watch TV. Also, when children watch TV, they are less likely to read a book. Reading is crucial to your brain learning to problem solve and a great way to spark an imagination. But children, teens, and adults who watch TV instead of reading will not have the imagination and quick problem solving of those who spend less time watching TV and more time reading. On top of all that, teens especially are less likely to finish or even begin their homework in a timely manner, if even at all. This will cause their grades to slip because they're watching their favorite show. So we've established that TV causes people of all ages to spend less time doing constructive activities and more time watching TV. This is a fact. But TV is more than just a time waster. It also affects the behavior of children and teens. Studies show that those who watch too much TV have violent tendencies and anger problems. These angry, violent children have nowhere to take out their anger because they watch TV instead of playing sports or going outside, and turn to bullying other children or teens. TV preaches a culture where violence, sexual immorality, drugs, alcohol, and disobeying the rules is considered cool. This, of course, is lowering the bar of society. Not only does it teach kids that the world says that these things are okay, it numbs the brain into listening to whatever it's told. A couple of stories is I have a friend who watched a show about serial killers, and after about 2 seasons, he started to question everything he thought about, and he had to stop watching that. Not a good influence. Another friend who's about 6 years old at the time, watching Spider-Man of all things. You think that'd be okay. Then, in the movie, there was a 3-letter word that started with A, and after that, he went around saying that, and he got beat for it. The other thing is, the liberal agenda has taken to this, and they are now pumping the heads of children, teens, and adults full of garbage to get votes and create a divided society. Now, before you start jumping at me, the conservative side does this as well, and it is wrong both ways. We believe this is lowering society to a lazy violent, believing whatever they're told people, and this is not good. Making TV the very definition of a bad influence. And isn't that what we're here to discuss today? We are here today to debate whether or not TV is a bad influence. And the things that I have laid before you fit the very definition. So why is it even an argument? TV is a bad influence. And that's why I would like your vote for the affirmative side.
Little did we know when we started 24 weeks ago, Aaron, yes, we have created a monster. Speech and debate could be a bad influence.
In like 10 years, you can make
He might
Yeah,
be.
that's completely fine.
Yeah. Is it that time here? 3 minutes. Sorry. Willie, you up next. And do your speaker evaluations, please. I didn't know how to say that. If I
In
said
this
it,
group,
yeah.
there's not a section for 0.
Say again?
There's not a section for 0.
That's because I got all 5s.
I'm adding one for you guys.
Thank you.
0, 0. I'm going ahead and circling it too.
Okay, who's up next? Who was that? That was you.
That was me.
Second, you were second opposition. Yes, okay, second opposition, I got it, I'm confused. Too many people. It's quiet. All right, time. All right, Will.
Me?
Who is it? Who is it? Oh, okay. Hi, Rachel. You're going again. Are you Blaine?
Yes, I'm Blaine.
All right.
So should we write down Rachel or Blaine on the thing?
Put Rachel / not really. No. You know what's Rachel? And Rachel she's under handicap. No, it's Rachel.
Okay.
You wrote this. Are you all wrote this?
Sort of. It's
Try. She's yeah.
You can. All right. It's
She's
Rachel.
mainly the reader.
It's Rachel. Okay.
All right. You ready?
I totally wait. Yes, totally ready.
Okay, first we're going to start with a quote from Frederick Zimmerman of the University of Washington. And he says that television is not inherently good or bad. It's a tool that when used appropriately can produce wonderful things. And so it's true that there are a lot of bad shows, but there are also a lot of really good shows. And just like children can mimic bad behaviors, they can also mimic the good behaviors. Just because TV should be monitored doesn't make TV all bad. There are bad things and good things, bad influences and good influences. And as far as one of the points that they had about leading to low self-image issues and low self-esteem, that is a problem for more reasons than just television. That social media has a huge impact on people's self-esteem, not just television and shows with people that seem perfect and make them discontent with their life. That's everywhere. Just like bad words and bad influences are everywhere. They're on the internet, they're posters when you're walking down the street, that's everywhere. And like, I think it was Leah mentioned that there are shows like Andy Griffith and the Waltons, those kind of shows. Those are still on, and they still do provide a good influence. They still have the same good messages that they used to, and you can still watch those. And there are plenty of shows like them.
That's good.
Short, sweet, to the point.
She did too.
She did too. That's true. That does count. Okay, you've already evaluated Rachel, so you don't need to do it again. Okay. Who's up?
Their first negative rebuttal.
Yeah, their first rebuttal.
Their first rebuttal.
But I think we get 6 minutes prep time between the constructive and the rebuttals.
So,
What? Yeah.
A little bit long.
little bit.
Do you need 6 minutes?
Yeah, we'll take 6 minutes.
So good, they need 6 minutes.
I hate the waiting.
As long as they have,
No, this
they
is great.
have.
This is great.
Our lunch.
Right.
Do you have to be back by a certain time?
Ah, that is good. That is good. If you close.
Oh, we have plenty of time.
I have done it.
I'm just gonna take these things.
I've never driven in foreign.
No, you don't.
We're just maybe people. I'm just kind of scared when we were driving and somebody goes past me through a big puddle, and then all of a sudden it's like water all in my car, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Okay, we did have to organize this.
I'm gonna have to organize it. Yeah, that's great though. Does that thing taste good?
It's a good place to keep it.
People can ask me to borrow it.
Objection, Your Honor.
That's all. I would have some good beef for my sister that I can have some.
Andy does that. He doesn't mind.
It's a long pack.
I have a chocolate chip sit on my shelf. He went and grabbed it and mixed it all over. He doesn't even like chocolate.
How many siblings do you have? I have 4.
It doesn't count in the siblings. It counts for her as
4
siblings.
sisters.
The siblings.
Counting by what feels like my siblings, I have like 12.
We only got by like 30 years old.
Georgia, 2014.
Oops. How you?
Hopefully we'll get it all done.
Right here. Instead of just saying, according to the state, you have to annotate the thing, you just want to hear that right. It's all. So that goes with,
Mountains that are all vaguely the same color.
oh yeah.
Long before I left, and then I ran into the dog and kissed his head, and I walked away, and my mom yelled at me that there's a giant paint stain on his head now. Actually,
Okay, opposition, as soon as you're ready, you can start.
Kids, that's like my whole thing.
They don't know you, hey, as soon as you're ready, you can start. Yeah, you don't know your opposition, but your opposition.
Okay, 1 minute.
You have a couple of minutes left on your standby, and we're gonna run out of time. And I'm going to lunch.
and lunch is more important.
Where are we going? Elementary?
The word you kept saying over and over, and you forget how to say it.
At a Messiah.
I'm trying to figure out what it was. Like a lizard restaurant. Close enough.
Restaurant.
It's a little pushback.
It is that. I don't know how to say those.
You know, it's not gonna kill you. It's like,
And it's not Lazard.
So I'm on.
Como se dice lizard?
You need a little thing on your hat that you just stick the papers in.
Do you know how to say lizard? You do? Como se dice lizard?
We're getting popsicle sticks.
I I don't need to. All I need to know is listen.
Can I move this?
Where's your mom from?
You can close it.
Can I put this in the middle?
Your dad looks very Irish, according to my mom.
But if I can't find things later, I'll call you.
You're on. See, my dad's flew and he's from Ecuador. My dad lived in Ecuador. And I've spent a lot of time in Honduras.
Ready? Okay. Ready? Time?
Give him a full hour, Abby.
Silence. How are y'all doing today?
A little tired.
Good. Good. Who here has a TV in their house? You have said TV is a bad influence, correct? Mrs. Martin, I believe this is an appeal by my opposition to what they believe is ignorance on your, my, and everyone else here's part. I would like to start today by reminding you and all those present to remember that the very people arguing against TV have their very own electronic device that they have presented as despicable. I'd like to start by including a few quotes from Frederick Zimmerman from the University of Washington's Children's Pediatric Center. According to Mr. Zimmerman, TV is not inherently good or bad. It is a tool that can be used appropriately, and when used so, can produce wonderful things. This is from the University of Washington's official website, uw.edu. Zimmerman points to the example of reading. People say that TV is related to obesity, but it involves sitting. Still, reading is a stationary activity as well. What is unhealthy is consuming large amounts of calories while watching TV. The media is powerful. TV is only one way in which media can be communicated to a consumer. We often think of media as a news company or CNN or Fox News, but let me define media for you. Media, according to dictionary.com, is the means of communication as radio and television, newspapers and magazines that reach or influence people widely. Your first speaker said that TV causes obesity. How does TV cause obesity? In my opinion, the portrayal of ads relating to fatty foods can be defined as media, not TV. Yes?
The influence that TV has on you causes you to sit in front of the TV all day eating junk food, which
Okay.
causes obesity.
That, in my opinion, is media. Media is defined as any means of communication, be it radio, TV, newspapers, or magazines. Your point that people who watch more TV as youth are more likely to be unsuccessful later in life is more an issue of self-control. Just because someone shoots guns often does not mean that they will conduct a mass shooting. Your second speaker, what?
TV is the influence that causes lack of self-control.
Let me define TV for you, okay? TV is the means of the broadcasting of a still or moving image via radio waves to receivers that project a view of the image on a picture tube. In my opinion, a picture tube or electronic device isn't an influence, it's the means of communication. Your second speaker said that that people view 8,000 murders on TV by the time they're a teenager. You said that this is linked to acts of violence. You included no evidence for this. You stated that violent TV shows have a negative impact on teens. This is true. Yes, sir.
We included the source to where that evidence came from.
Your second speaker did not.
Well,
You stated that violent TV shows have a negative impact on teens. This is true. We don't dispute this, not at this time. But this is an issue with media. Again, media and television are not the same thing. Television is only the way in which media is portrayed, not at this time. You appear, my friends, to be confusing media and TV. In my opinion, bad TV shows are media and not television, not at this time. I would also like to point out that my opponents have offered no alternative or solution to this supposed problem. Let me point out that the FCC requires all TV with screens larger than 13 inches to have a V-chip, which has the ability to filter out questionable media. Again, this is media, not television. Television is the way in which media is portrayed. They have offered no solution, and from what they've said, it basically sounds like they want everyone to ditch their TVs and throw them all away, and nobody have any access to media on TV in any way. You say that liberals influence television? I believe they influence media, my friend, and not the electronic device consisting of a display screen and speakers. I would like to end with a quote from my friend and partner, Rachel. I believe that moral people that do view their bodies as the temple of the Holy Spirit and do desire to honor God in all they do, and that are aware of the effects that watching certain things can have on their mind and soul, will handle TV responsibly, and that the people that do not care about their mind, body, and soul will reflect that with or without the influence of television. My friends, if y'all have a problem with TV, then it's up to y'all to get rid of it, and from what I've seen, y'all all have TV in your houses. Thank you.
It's literally 2 lines. Maybe she forgot to say it. What? Maybe she forgot to say it. No, she didn't. I don't use it. So she but he said, thank you.
Just 3 minutes. 3 minutes?
I did not get it.
It's simple right there.
Leah's up. Leah's up.
Yes.
These 6 minute speeches are killing my flow. They just get too much stuff. Good points that you're making on both sides. I don't do it in the middle of the day.
You should.
This is why I'm speaking.
It's your own phone echoing.
Oh yeah, do your speaker thing. What's it called? Assessment.
And keep it off,
I did mine.
so I can POIs.
Yeah,
Let's send Cassidy. Cassidy one.
yeah.
I rated the best.
Did you read that heading out? Yeah. It's one of those ones you can't think about. It's gonna be fun.
You're supposed to rate yourself, by the way.
If you're feeling confident.
You made me right out of 0. This is why they call it story.
I will add zeros to those
That's
fives.
actually why they call it.
Yeah.
Do what?
I will add zeros to those fives.
Hey.
Of course, thank you.
It's just gonna
Thank you,
He's the
Calvin.
president of the US someday.
You're
I think we're
good,
about to
Calvin.
watch
You're good.
Eric
He'll be-
Speaker of the Day again from that. He's got like 5,000, 5 zeros after. He'll end up being 1 or 2. The president of the United
I
States
guess Eric
reporting
is Speaker of the Day. He's got 20,000 points.
That's right.
Aaron, what? You thought I was joking? Honestly, wait,
That's what I put on. Read what I put on.
I think once you get that, we're stupid.
Sure.
No.
No,
You
guys have 2 seconds.
One
Okay,
Mississippi,
we're
two
ready.
Mississippi.
Ready? You guys can come in and sit on the floor if you want to.
Well,
Okay.
we didn't know there were so many people here.
Tell him to come back over here. Jackson, I'm talking to you. I have your flash drive. Don't let me forget to give it to you. Okay, it's now on to you. Totally. Y'all can come up and sit. Y'all come up here and sit if you want to. Come right here.
We probably won't kick you.
We won't kick you much. It's perfectly fine. No,
TV may know it's too violent.
Yes, you ready?
I am living proof.
Okay.
Is it my mom?
No, it's a mom letter.
Alright, first I would like to address Cassidy's point about the Bible TV series. The Bible is a secular TV show that crams parts of the Bible stories into 1 hour. And of all the stuff it crams into these 1 hour segments of television, there are several inaccuracies. You do not want to misrepresent the Bible with inaccuracies. First off, there is what I find quite comical in a way, is the martial arts that the angels use. The angels never physically fought in the Bible. Where did they physically fight in the Bible? They never physically fought. They were just beings that would carry messages and tell people what was happening. Also, there was the Jeremiah. In the Bible, he escaped completely with being undetected, and in the Bible, he was captured and he was bound in chains when he was ready to released, and that can be found in Jeremiah 41, if you want to look that up. Also, while this might have been a TV, a stylistic technique for the TV editors, Noah read about the, he read about the creation story. That had not even been transcribed in his time. It might have been a story, but it had not yet been transcribed. That was another fallacy. You do not want to misrepresent the Bible in any way, and this TV show has many fallacies in it that can misrepresent the Bible and give people the wrong idea. The Bible TV series also made Mary Magdalene an apostle. How is that accurate? Let's see. Also, your point about V-chips. V-chips are very helpful, but they are ineffective when a majority of people do not know that they are actually in their TV. If they do not know that they have such equipment to block the TV programs, there is no way that they can actually effectively use it. Yes?
Then maybe we should be working, instead of trying to ban TV, make those more popular and make them more well known, because it's good that TVs come with those.
We are not trying to ban TV, we are just trying to prove that TV is a bad influence. Not at this time. Also, you said that TLC is the channel of learning. First off, TLC is more, not at this time, TLC is more of a reality TV show or TV channel. They have shows like My 600-Pound Life or Say Yes to the Dress. How is that necessarily a learning show? Yes?
So you say that you're not trying to ban TV, but you believe it's a bad influence, correct?
Yes.
So you're viewing it as a gray area.
We are not viewing it as a gray area. We are trying to point out what is wrong with it so it can be fixed. We are not trying to ban it.
Okay, so you don't think V-chips are a good solution?
V-chips are a good solution, but no one knows that they are there, so they are ineffective. Also, just because a TV show is educational does not at this time. Just because a TV show is educational does not mean it is a good thing to be educational. There are several documentaries that can be quite questionable, but they are still, in essence, educational. Some of these documentaries could be Russian prison tattoos. It is educational. It teaches you how these tattoos are made, yes, but do you really want someone to know how to do a Russian prison tattoo? No, not really. Let's see. Also, you said time and again that people would just have to turn away and walk away if they see something bad on TV. People can be inherently predisposed to choose bad behavior, not because they're necessarily bad people, but because we make bad decisions. And once someone makes one bad decision, it leads to more bad decisions. So the fact is that they will not always walk away from something bad on TV. And once there's been one bad decision, they'll make several others. Also, your point with the movie about movies being based off of books, that is true. However, the movies, they will time and again change the script and change the way that the book told something and make it more graphic. It is especially prevalent in romance scenes and fighting scenes. They will make fighting scenes more graphic and violent. They will also make romance scenes more graphic and inappropriate. Also, not everyone is a Christian. You made that point that Christian morals, we would walk away from things. That is true. Christians would hopefully do that. But not everyone is a Christian and not everyone is moral. So that does not mean that everyone will walk away again from bad things in TV. Not everyone sees themselves as a temple in the Holy Spirit. I believe that I have covered most of your points, and Josh will cover the rest. And I believe this is shows that the judge should vote for the affirmative.
Ilea, you handled yourself really well. You did a good job. Yeah, 3 minutes.
Who goes next, Calvin?
Yes, Calvin's
yeah.
next.
Josh will hit the ones that I forgot. Okay.
It's like 3 minutes of effort. I gave them 30 seconds of effort.
Okay.
Yes. So that's what I would recommend.
Yeah, because it's only the all right. So who's up next? Opposite. And counting is the second negative, or she second negative. Yeah, opposition is above.
That's Rachel.
Oh, that's old. I'm not really confused. Here's the problem. Here's the problem. What is it?
The bias is strong with this one.
That would not be a good idea for me. I would Which one? I think so,
I'm ready, sorry. Oh, wait, no, wait.
Is there one in specific that you want?
No, not right now.
She. Do you want me to? She is. Do you want me to mention something from her? If you have a ton of stuff, if I see you put your one call, you be nice. Yeah, be nice. They're nice. There's some decorum with the babes. You have to be somewhat nice, whether you want to be or not.
Civil. You don't have to be honest.
I'm ready now.
Honest?
Do you want this?
Honest.
Illegal player on the playing floor.
You guys ready to
Okay,
start?
Calvin,
8-point penalty.
sorry for the delay.
We don't need it. Okay.
You can begin when you're ready.
I like to start out with talking about the Bible TV show that you guys talked about, and you pointed out that it may not be perfectly correct, but is it not still good influence to expose people to the Bible that normally wouldn't? If they were flipping through the channels and found the Bible TV show, that would interest them into maybe reading the Bible. It's not a bad influence in whole. It kind of goes on to the TV. TV has bad influences, yes, and all your studies were focused on a lot of the bad influences. A lot of the stuff you guys were talking about, how it hurts kids, and a lot of these things is illegal for kids to view, but they view them anyways because their parents let them. It's actually against the law for some of this stuff. Or it is the guidelines of what people usually recommend. I like to talk about how Will said, how the TV is actually a device with a screen that relays message. How can that be a bad influence? If it's just a device, it's what comes through it that's a bad influence, which what he said was media. Media can be a bad influence. It also can be a good influence. But media is good. It spreads knowledge of bad things and good things. It's good to have information, even if it is bad or good. We will never ban TV. And like what you guys were saying is how it seems to be all bad. And if that was the case, there would be people leveling to ban TV, but they don't. Because they know it spreads information about. So why our society is so great today is because of the spread of information fast. Computers, they changed our lives. We have a higher standard of living than any other place ever. Now everybody's catching up with us. China, people who are making great electronics and causing it. You can't say this is a bad influence. Georgia has changed their laws on movies production, where California has strictened their laws. So a lot of movie producers and Disney, a lot of people are making movies in Georgia. Stuff like The Insurgent, Fast and Furious 7. All these movies are made is generate a revenue of $5.1 billion in Georgia, creating tons and tons of jobs and help for our economy. Yes.
How are movies about outlaws and not a bad influence?
How are movies about good things not a good influence? You point out the bad stuff, but you don't point out the good stuff. You're focusing on a certain section of TV or a certain section of the bad things, and you don't focus on the good things. Yes.
Being the affirmative side, that's what we have to do.
I understand that. That's where our side is to bring the good things in.
I know, but I'm saying, why are you asking that?
No crosstalk, no crosstalk.
Yeah?
TV
Will
is a
did it.
tool. TV is a tool like a phone is or a computer is. Many believe phones and computers are bad influences, and yes, they can be very bad influences, but they are the reason why we live so well today. How we can have electricity, all this stuff, are because of revolutionary designs and new things. I like to say that TV in general you cannot say is a bad thing. It comes good and bads, like most of everything in life, goods and bads. And what you choose to view will affect you. The TV is not deciding what you choose to view. I'd like to finish up by saying that our team has again and again come back at the affirmative and saying that no, it's not all bad. You can't say the whole thing is bad. I like to appeal to the judge and say that our side is a more difficult side to maybe argue on, but it is right. You cannot say something that is just bad because it has bad things in it. It also has a majority of good. So even if you can't say it's overall really good, maybe TV is not overall a super good thing, it certainly is not a bad. It is more of a middle ground, like media in general. And that is why I believe that you should vote for the negative side, and why our team wins today.
Shame, shame.
Right.
Yeah, just say that they can prove their point because they're saying it's a middle ground, it's not a good influence.
I didn't. I had like your mom said. I had notes and the only thing I took off was right here. I went, oh. That was
3 minutes.
Yeah, awesome. Right. Let's see. This one was me.
Okay. Oh, I'm not sure who was what. I got it.
We only got one more speaker.
One more speaker. And we're over time.
You have enough, you can go.
You got enough, Josh.
You can do, you have so much stuff.
All of this.
You have so much stuff.
Can I get 20 minutes to set up my notes?
You need that time, don't you?
It's gonna take
If I get more POI time.
Yeah.
Mr. arguing back and forth.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You only seemed to have a problem with it once you got onto you.
No, we saw a problem with it with you. didn't we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we saw a problem.
Okay.
We're just pointing something out here. That's all.
I hear you.
Of course. That's what we're trying to make sure you do. We're just trying to make sure you do.
Okay, so first of all, I'd like to come back to what Will said, and he said that our second speaker did not state her source in her speech for the 8,000 murders, when in fact she actually did in the sentence before that, or actually the exact sentence when she said the American Academy of Pediatrics said that Amy Vardy didn't kill murders. Okay, the other team's main point has been that TV is not all the way a bad influence, but and then they've said that TV is actually mostly a good influence. So I have a question for you. Consider the idea of a stew. I'm going to paint a picture for you. If you have even one bad thing in the stew, are you going to eat the stew if you know it's bad for you? No, you're not. In the same way, TV is actually far more bad than good. So why would you want to touch it? No, we're not advocating for the banning of TV. We're saying it's a bad influence. You guys have actually admitted that TV is somewhat a bad influence that also has some good influences. You're in the middle ground. We've actually stayed with our point in that TV is a bad influence. And you're right, TV is not all bad. It's not inherently bad when it's off, broken, or in the trash. And I'd like to come to a point Calvin said when he said that isn't the show the Bible still good even if it's got some bad stuff in it? Well, I'm going to bring a Bible verse. Revelations 22:18. I warn everyone who hears the words of the prophecy of this book. If anyone adds to them, God will add him to the plagues described in this book. You guys mentioned some good shows like Food Network and Travel Channel and History Channel, but the amount of viewers that watch those shows versus the amount of viewers that watch the bad shows are outstandingly different, not at this time. You have an estimated 99,203 homes watching Food Network, 94,418 homes watching Travel Channel. But let's switch to something like Breaking Bad, not this time, where you have 10.3 million viewers watching each episode. Glee, 8 million viewers watching each episode. Pretty Little Liars, 3 million viewers. Yes.
Okay, so you said that you're not advocating for the banning of TV, correct?
Correct.
Okay, well you just said that it's better off in the trash.
I did not say it was better.
Yes, you did.
Your second constructive said that moral people will turn it off, but there's more and more evidence of moral people actually not turning the TV off and ending up following these things. People falling into the trap all the time. So if you guys could provide some evidence that moral people do turn the TV off, maybe you personally do, but we're seeing a degrading in society that is very attributed to TV. You guys say the Learning Channel is another channel that was a good channel, but you do not learn. Making the title of the Learning Channel doesn't mean you're actually learning anything. It has terrible people and shows on it. Yes.
What are some examples of the terrible people and shows on the Learning Channel?
Well, you have the the showing of homosexuality, for one. And so basically, that we think that the amount of bad shows has far outweighed the amount of good shows. You guys said that TV is a overall good influence versus a bad influence, but you don't have any evidence of that, and we actually provided tons of evidence for why there are far more bad shows than good shows on TV. For these many reasons, we believe that the affirmative team has far more evidence to support their side that TV is a bad influence. For this reason, we believe the judge should vote for the affirmative team. Thank you.
Okay, that's the end of the speakers.